Hey Diego, how are you?
Good, Shane. How are you?
Good, good. Man, I just realized, do you realize that today is 2 years since we first met each other?
No way, really?
Yeah, I was scrolling through Facebook last night. I was like, oh my gosh, I messaged Diego 2 years ago today. I can't believe how fast that went. It's crazy.
So it's 2 years already, man. Time flies, huh?
Yeah, you're not kidding. My hair fell out, my hair went gray. I'm like, man, oh man, it went quick. Yeah, it sure would
So
go.
that's good, and that's good that we agreed to put together this episode today to tell our story, so our audience come knows where you come from, where I come from, how we got to know each other, and how we're working together since.
Yeah, look forward to it. Whoops. Yeah, so I just thought we'd do a quick intro on both of us, so both our backgrounds, if that's all right with you. I put this together for you, but hope that's okay. We'll just kind of go over both our individual backgrounds, share with people how we met, and how our backgrounds are different, but also similar in the same ways.
Sounds good to me. And the picture it's showing in the screen is just my beautiful wife Jimena and our son Diego Mauricio. We came from Colombia about 20 years ago, and here we are.
It's awesome. Cool, cool. That's great. There's another photo.
That was the last picture we got in Colombia before we left for the United States.
Awesome. Wow. Cool, cool, cool. That's
20
great. Oh,
years, man.
son. That's awesome. So then just a little bit about
Oh,
me.
that's you.
Yeah, who's he? No. Yeah, I'm originally from New York, of course. I think I've mentioned that in the past on here. I live in Florida now. I've had plenty of mentors in the past with from hospitality individuals and executives and whatnot, and different people that work in real estate, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but some other areas with technology and things like that. And my background's mostly in hospitality, a little bit in real estate as well, of course. And then other areas with technology and whatnot, I'm also more emerging on, but definitely. Alrighty.
Good stuff.
Definitely would say our
So
best. I'll go ahead.
this is for most people, they probably know Robert Kiyosaki. We've been reading his books. I used to have a purple collection of books.
Mhm.
So that's how I got into real estate, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely our passion, as it says. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm sure everybody in the audience at a minimum have read Poor Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Right. Yep. Yep. No, it's definitely a good book. I definitely recommend it if they haven't.
Hmm.
Absolutely. There we are again.
Here we are. So this is interesting. We met online, right? We met on one of the Facebook groups.
Yeah,
We
the real
were
estate.
both looking for property and projects to invest in real estate. And then we met in person in Atlanta. And this is Pip Stelic. Pip Stelic was a student of Robert Kiyosaki, and he's been our mentor, and he's been teaching us how to do real estate investment. So that was the first time we met in person, right?
Yeah, I think we met about 6 months or so, roughly, after we met
Uh,
online, we met in person, and then did some work. I toured one of your parks, and we met at the conference there. It was definitely a very productive week or weekend, I should say. But it was an awesome conference, and being able to meet Pip was great. And it's certainly been awesome to be a mentee of his since then, if you will. Certainly been very productive. Absolutely.
yeah, that's interesting. We drove together to Dublin to see some of the mobile homes that we were just getting started flipping, and it's interesting. Now we have a good portfolio of mobile homes in Atlanta.
Right, right.
So it and I also want to mention here, Shane, we met online, and a lot of people are skeptical of meeting people online, but they're still good people. You've been a really good partner, and we got to meet in person after 6 months. You came to visit here in September last year, I guess. So I know it's a lot of people like scammers online, but they're still good people that we can meet and do business together.
Absolutely. And I always recommend, just do your due diligence on them. As crazy as it sounds, court records can tell you a lot. But
Hmm.
there's a lot of ways to do diligence, do due diligence on people, and not that difficult. With a little bit of research, you can pretty much weed out the bad ones, if you will. So
Absolutely. And last year we put GC development as a partnership, and now we're in joint venture.
we're here, right? Definitely.
Good, good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, who's that?
Well, look at that. That's me. Like 20 some years ago, my wife and I started investing in real estate down in Colombia. We got to own 2 properties before we moved to the United States.
That's awesome.
And it's a interesting concept because in Colombia, people don't like credit. We bought this house, we flipped the house for as a rental property, and we had a 15-year mortgage that we rushed to pay it off in 5 years. I didn't want to have any debt in my life. And now we are on the opposite side, following Kiyosaki's teachings. And we know that credit is just a leverage to get ahead in the game.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
that's the teaching from Kiyosaki, the cash flow quadrant. Most of us start being employees. We moved down to be self-employee or specialist or many different positions that you can do, but still in the left side of the quadrant. So until you move to the right side of the quadrant as a business owner, when you have a system or being an investor, and when you really leave the rat race, which is our goal, right?
Absolutely. 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 And then one.
That's another good example. Most of us are employees. You see, the first person, uh, you know, if you use your muscle, your brain, and your time, you are limited, and it's not enough hours in the day to get ahead. As a self-employment or self-employee, you can be a doctor, you can be an attorney, you can be an accountant, which is a good way to make good money, but still you're using your brain, your hands, your time, and it is very limited. Now we have McDonald's as a system. That's a good example of what a system means. And you, as the owner, you can unplug yourself from the business and leave for some time and come back, and the system keeps going. The business probably grows even if you're not there. And finally, I think that person looks like a Warren Buffett that represents the guru of investment, the stock market and stuff like that. So that's a good example of who we should be becoming in the next few years following this training.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. There we go.
So that's the American dream. That was the first property we bought in the United States.
Awesome.
2006, crazy time, high prices, but I was, my wife and I were determined to buy property, and we didn't care for the prices.
Right.
It's part of our story and part of the process that you have to make some mistakes and learn from those mistakes.
I totally get that. Almost sounds like the market today, right?
Exactly, just like the market today. But what's funny? We lived in this house for about 6, 7 years, and now it's our best rental property. It's bringing a lot of good positive cash flow. So even if you make mistakes, you can recover from them.
Right. Ooh, who do we have here?
So this is really good stuff. Kiyosaki always says it's not about how much you make, it's how much you keep. And this is the book for learning the basics on taxes,
Right.
tax-free wealth. I read this book, and that was like I was working crazy hours, overtime, never get ahead, until I realized that I was just paying a lot of taxes.
Right. Absolutely. Totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the quadrant here.
And again, yeah, you see how the taxes are, the left side of the quadrant as an employee or self-employee. All you do is work to pay taxes.
Yep. Right. Totally makes sense. Yeah. And then we have a hierarchy of needs, of course, with the life on top, and then our more psychological on the bottom, right?
Another author that I like, Shane, is Dr. Wayne Dyer. I started reading his books in the late 90s, and he
Wow.
talks about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And, as you grow in a business and you accomplish some of your goals, you turn around trying to help others and to accomplish their goals. And that's actually how we got to connected, how we working together, because it's like a connection, people helping people. And I'm not quite there yet, but I know enough to work with you and share some of my knowledge. And you also, on your side, you know a lot and you're sharing your knowledge with me. So
Right.
that's how we get connected. We work together to help other people's needs. Like in the real estate, we are providing housing for the people who can afford it, and then we can teach them how can they afford it, so they can become homeowners and eventually real estate investors like we are.
Right. Right. No, absolutely. Certainly rewarding. So we got the seven habits of highly effective people. I can't talk today.
So this is another author that I recommend to everybody. I read this book in the late 90s, and I read this book many, many times. I don't have it here, but I'm reading this book over and over. And until you become somebody who's following these habits, it's not enough just to read the book. You have to put it into practice. But
Yeah,
it's been so beneficial for me. That's why I highly recommend it.
that's up.
Um, these seven habits are life changing. You develop your character. You really get out of the comfort zone and you start becoming the person you are meant to be in life by just following these seven habits.
That's
And
awesome.
in the next slide, I can explain to you, Shane, a little more
Yeah.
about how these habits work. So when we were talking about Kiyosaki, we had the four quadrants, and one of it is the employee
Hmm.
square, the left side of the quadrant.
Right.
Most of the people who are employees are dependent.
Mm.
And as you can see here, we all depend of the government or company, our parents, we are all dependent until we start applying these first three habits, which is be proactive,
Hmm.
begin with the end in mind, and put first thing first. When you master these three habits is when you become independent. And if you can see, that's only halfway through the process,
Hmm.
because you need to apply the other three, which is think win-win, first to understand so you can be understood,
Hmm.
and synergize. These three habits are very important to become interdependent, because
Right.
just like you and I, you're not dependent on me and I'm not dependent on you,
Right.
but we synergize, we work together, we look for win-win situations. You have been able to understand what I'm looking for. I have been able to understand what we're looking for, and we are now looking for something that is beneficial for both of us.
Right.
And the last habit is to sharpen the saw, which means go back to the beginning, go back to the basics.
Hmm.
Every time we start over again, what we do is we are expanding the circle of influence.
Hmm.
We are now growing our community. We started as a you and I only. Now we are growing our community. So every time we go back to that cycle, our community is growing bigger and bigger. That's why these seven habits are so beneficial, and we recommend this to our audience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, and I covered a lot of this in college for different courses and whatnot. It was definitely beneficial. Definitely beneficial.
Right.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that's great. All right. So we got a great quote here, it looks like.
So begin with the end in mind. To me, this is the one of the most important habits to have. And that's how we got to know each other and how we got to work together, because you have a very clear goal. And that's what I liked about our project, because we have in time we have a clear picture of what we want to do
Right.
together. So that's one of the most important habits to have.
Absolutely. Definitely got to have a goal in mind.
Yeah, we have to have a big picture first.
Right. Right. Yep. And of course, our mission being on for our organization, we had multiple fronts, but the main mission being to provide affordable, self-sustainable, and resilient housing for low-income families through a rent-to-own program is our main goal, of course, for the housing programs that we offer, whether that's mobile homes, in an extent RV parks, and also some housing programs as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then our vision being to develop self-sustainable and resilient and environmentally friendly communities where possible, also generating job opportunities and also mentorship and really generate more investors down the road that can also invest in their communities as well.
Exactly. Our goal is for most people who can afford to buy a house,
Mhm.
we're helping them to become homeowners.
Right.
But we're looking, based on Kiyosaki's teaching, owning a house doesn't make you an investor.
Right.
You have to go above and beyond. And we're going to be teaching a lot of our audience or how to become real estate investors, and helping other people to become homeowners as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So here we have a picture of our end in mind for our community we hope to develop. And I know you have certainly a great vision for this when it comes to the overall community that we hope to develop.
I feel bad showing this picture, because this is what I did, not knowing a lot of the technology, and I know you are an expert in technology.
Sure.
So we're gonna get together and fix this up a little bit. But that was my vision before I met with you,
Sure.
and it was clear that we wanted to do some land development. And if you can move to the next slide, it shows that the phase number one is an RV park. So that's when it came into one of these Facebook groups, and we were looking for something that was similar to what I was trying to do.
Right.
And that's how it just made sense that we should get together and work together, find these deals, develop this land together, and make your dream and my dream come true.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely where we mesh together, if you will. And then we have the second phase, of course, with additional developments.
So that the phase two will be a mobile home park. So we will have RV park, mobile home park as a phase two. And then when we see the center, we're gonna have a community that will have like a park to come together. We can have like a live music, uh, food trucks, some kind of festivals going on, so we can bring some entertainment to our communities. We're gonna have a gym, a sports complex, and what you see in the center that says Powerhouse, and our vision and mission are oriented to environmental friendly communities. So we're talking about solar panels, we're talking about clean energy, and that's where we want to be developing as well, to make this resilient and self for our entrepreneurial mindset people in the communities to develop some of these projects.
Absolutely. And then we, of course, have the third and final phase here.
So yeah, the final phase will be houses, townhomes, apartment buildings, commercial properties. So that's a whole community, a whole you don't have to drive 2 or 3 hours to get a job. We can just it's gonna be just walking distance to your business or whatever you're doing for life
Right, right. I
as a
think
living.
we have a video for that as well.
Oh, so you came with your technology and now we have this in a video. So let's play that video.
We're building communities and ecosystems where people can live and work, helping each other thrive in an environment of entrepreneurial collaboration. We offer housing for the short and long term. Guests can visit one of our communities while traveling in their RV or purchase their permanent dream home. In our attempt to create a self-sustaining and holistic community hub where much needed jobs, the 21st century education, and shared revenue streams are to be created within our own boundaries, we're pleased to announce our partnership with the founders of the American Dream Factory. DixieNet, people helping people.
So that's a win-win, and we love that slogan. Help people helping people. That's what we do.
Absolutely. Definitely. And I always love the visuals. It helps people, I think, kind of convey the message and whatnot. It's definitely helpful.
Right.
Cool.
And this is our habit number 4. Think win-win. So that's how we got together, and we are making progress together.
Right, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hey, I
So
really
this has been a really good episode today, Shane. I think our audience have been asking us questions like who we are and all that good stuff. So now they can have it all completed.
absolutely no, definitely they can always contact us if they have any other questions. Definitely encourage them to read the book if they haven't. It's definitely helpful.
Yeah. A lot of people are reading the book and they're getting really good questions to us. That's really good stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, again, I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate your time as well.
See you again next week.
Okay. Have a great weekend.
Thanks. Bye-bye.